And John, our Dodge starting goaltenders tonight, Patrick Waugh in goal for the Colorado Avalanche, his 231st playoff game. Only one player has played more games than Patrick Waugh in the playoffs, and that's Mark Messier with 236. At the other end, Nabokov in goal, John, and he knows with a win tonight at home, they move on to play Detroit. And, you know, this is probably the first really big test in front of this kind of crowd for this young goaltender in his second year in the league.
And a veteran crew on hand to officiate. Kerry Fraser at center ice along with Don Van Massenhoven. Scott Driscoll and Ray Scampanello are the linesmen. Last year, in the finals, the Avalanche faced the exact same situation. Game 6 in New Jersey. The Cup was in the building, but the Avalanche won it 4-0.
And Patrick Waugh was nothing short of sensational. In the first period, Adam Foote made it 1-0, and suddenly that series went into the second and third period. The Avalanche get 3 more goals. They won that one. They won the Stanley Cup. But it was Patrick Waugh's play in the first period that made him cry at the Meadowlands.
So Waugh, the Avalanche are set. At center, Sakic between Tanguay and Hayduk. For the Sharks, Sturm, Domfus, and Nolan. And away we go with Game 6. First period underway. Rafty sends it in. That's off a stick. And it goes high into the crowd here at the Compact Center. The Avalanche with their top defensive pairing on the ice, Foote and DeVries.
And John, our coach is Daryl Sutter for the San Jose Sharks. One thing that he has not liked about his hockey club, and they have played well, is the starts to games. He has felt that the Avalanche have been a better first period club. Conversely, Bob Hartley has felt that San Jose has been the stronger club in the third period, so the Avalanche know that they have to go into that third period with that lead again.
Here comes Hayduk into the slot. Lets the shot go. Rebound Sakic. Backhander! And a whistle. The puck was never covered, but Van Massenhoven blew the whistle. And that was a break for San Jose.
A quick replay of this shows that the Avalanche are getting a lot of people in front of them. That's what they'll want to do early in this hockey game. Sakic couldn't quite get good wood on that backhand shot. But John, for the Avalanche, they would love to spend a lot less time in their own zone. They would love to keep the puck deep and really force to the neutral zone. The San Jose Sharks did not make those good dump-ins.
Now the Sharks into the zone with Owen Nolan. Backhander! And he whistled that one just wide. Wide open man in front. Sturm is stopped by Waugh. Marco Sturm all alone. Nobody there but Waugh. And he made the save.
Well, not necessarily a great start for the Avalanche in the sense that as the puck goes to the far boards, all 5 Avalanche players are out of position. They're going across. All the players are on the far side. They just over-committed, and Waugh makes the big save. Now, there's no question that puck was rolling a little bit, but Waugh looked comfortable, John, on that save.
Marco Sturm scored the game's first goal in Game 5, a 5-3 win by the Sharks. Now Forsberg off after the puck. Forsberg, Drury, and Reinprecht. The Sharks get it down low on the line, and it's over the stick of Brad Stewart. And all the way down on Nabokov, who plays it up on the far side, too far for Thornton. Avalanche recover at center. Now back for Kasparaitis. Forsberg, great pass into the middle. Here's Reinprecht into the zone. And he was slowed up by Ricci, and Ragnarsson will take it for San Jose. On the near side, kept in by Kasparaitis. And he can't get a shot. And it's forced to center by Nicholas Sundstrom. Both clubs want to make a change. Stewart off the boards. Broken up by Kasparaitis. And just onto the ice, Gary Suter for the Sharks, and he'll fire it down the ice. And icing coming up here on San Jose. Let's check tonight's game plan, brought to you by Oppenheimer Funds.
Well, for the Avalanche, a little disco music. Staying alive. That's all they're thinking about in tonight's game. They need to have a solid first period and get control of this game. 4. the San Jose Sharks uncharted water. With a win tonight, they would move into a place, conference finals that this franchise has never been. And those are the things, John, you rely on your veterans to calm you down as the game goes along. Guys like Adam Graves, who have won 2 Stanley Cups.
3 times in their history, the Sharks have been up 3-2 in a series. All 3 times they have lost the Game 6, although they did come back to win 2 of those 3 series in Game 7. But they have never advanced to the 3rd round in their 11th year. And the Avalanche toss it over the boards. Foot gets it out of play. And that's the key tonight, Peter. The Avalanche, they've done it. They've won 2 cups. They have guys who have played over 200 playoff games. They know what it takes. Can San Jose handle the pressure and knock off the champions?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Darryl Sutter will be finding out about his hockey club. That's what Bob Hartley knows about his hockey club. He knows what they can do in pressure situations like this. And, you know, that's why Darryl Sutter, he has to coach well. He has to coach with confidence. He has to coach knowing that his team can win. His players feel when a coach is unsure or unsettled by situations.
Sharks get the face-off, back for Sutter, a shot. And that was blocked by Dan Heinold. And the puck forced down the ice by Rico Hall. The Avalanche had a playoff high of 21 blocked shots in Game 5. So they've done a great job in these playoffs. Now Bradley into the zone. It's offside. And maybe a penalty behind the play. I'm not sure.
No, John, I'm just going to say, as you see that play with the Avalanche, twice now, they have really rushed at the man with the puck so he couldn't get the blue line and dump it in. And I think that's part of the key to tonight's game is the Avalanche play in the neutral zone. Now watch the puck come across here and not allow the man into the zone easily. Look, there's 2 Avalanche players right there on him. Coming across, just to take him out of the play. Don't let him get in easily, because if you get in easily, they get the puck down low, and that's where San Jose can set up.
No lineup changes for either club. Bob Hartley said before the game about a possible change in the lineup. He said, no, I like my lineup the way it is. He has the confidence in his 20 players. Here the Avs after it. Dan Heino with his speed. Gets there ahead of Mateau. Now Rico Hall in the corner with Brad Larson. Against Brian Marchment. Now it's taken out of the corner by Larson. Spin around shot. That's wide. Centering pass by Heino. No one is home. And Todd Harvey heads the other way for San Jose. Again, lost it at center. Skula's pass blocked. And now Watt in the near corner for Muir. And under pressure, he gets one to the line, but not out. Now back behind the goal again. Skula gave it up. Centering feed, and it's broken up by Tanguay. And the Avalanche cleared away.
And the Avalanche had the puck, but Skula twice gave it away to San Jose when the Avalanche looked to have control.
Now Sakic through the neutral zone. Surrounded by 3 Sharks. And out to center ice for Nolan. And he was run to the boards by Blake, and the Avalanche have it. Here's Kasparaitis. His pass up the middle, picked off by Vincent Damphousse. Drop pass, Sturm, a shot. And that goes high to the corner. Now the Sharks, Damphousse back of the goal. Trying to get away from the clutches of Joe Sakic. Damphousse forced to the corner. Now Nolan run out toward the line. Drops it off to Sturm, back in front to Nolan on the one-timer, and it skipped over his stick.
And there's one of those shifts we were talking about for San Jose. Those 25-second shifts down low where eventually somebody breaks open.
Nolan beat Kasparaitis to it, but now Forsberg gets it off the boards, and then is dumped hard, and the Avalanche fail to clear it. Here's Wall back to the goal. Look out, Damphousse in there. Now Thornton trying to steal it, and then Forsberg came back on him. Here's Sundstrom for the Sharks. Cycles one to Thornton. Back on the line. Ragnarsson walks in. Fires it wide. Oh, what a chance there. Avs try to clear it. Pressure by the Sharks. Stewart kept it in. Sundstrom back to the goal. Centering pass. Damphousse a shot. And then Forsberg knocked the man down. The Avs can't clear it again. Kept in by Sundstrom. He'll flip one back to the goal. Now Steve Reinfrecht, and he gets it high and down the ice. And that is the kind of shift the Sharks have had in this series at times.
You know, everybody's been talking about the fact that the Avalanche have lost the 2 third-period leads. Well, one of the things, John, is that there has been pressure on them in those games in the first 2 periods. and eventually you get a little bit tired. Now, the Avalanche, in the 2 games that they have won, have dominated play in their own zone and have won the games by a combined 12-3. The games they've lost, San Jose has scored 17 goals in the 3 games that they have won, with a lot of the goals coming from the corners and behind the net. The numbers point to Patrick Roy not having a good series. 3 of the goals that have been scored at the end of the games have been into empty nets. And he has not had a lot of great help down low. There's been men open in front a lot.
And that last shift might typify the way things have gone at times when the Sharks have won. Here's a great chance for Solani right off the faceoff, and a great save by Waugh after the Sharks won the draw. And the puck is under the Avalanche player. I think it's Mike Keane, and now Keane gets up as play goes on. What a save by Waugh on Solani. As they try and force it off the boards. Now put back on Graves, and the Avalanche get the puck. And here they come to center ice. Stephon Yell. He'll drive it in deep. Marleau back for the Sharks. Up the boards for Graves. Takes the hit from Yell. And it goes down the ice. Here's Solani after it. Got back there to force him to the corner. And then the puck goes through a hole in the glass. The photographer's hole. And a whistle.
Timo Solani came into this series the single biggest question mark in San Jose's team. Everybody knew that Owen Nolan would do enough without scoring to be an impact player. Solani is not that kind of player. He had only 6 hits in the series so far. He's not a physical presence. He's a great skater and a great goal scorer, but he had not scored against Phoenix. In this series, he has had 5 goals and has been that one thing, John, that I think has tipped it towards the San Jose Sharks. Those goals that he has scored have come in big games.
Off the face-off, Kasparov is trying to clear it. Nolan knocked it down. Here's Nolan working down low. Looks for the wraparound. Kasparov has forced him back toward the line. Now back to the goal. Domfus missed it. And Milan Haydu gets it for the Avalanche. And the puck to center now for Tanguay on to Blake. Here comes Blake with 5 goals in the series to Tanguay. Forced to the corner by 2 Sharks. Now Haydu gets it off the boards. Leaves it for Tanguay. Takes the high stick. Penalty called on that. Delayed penalty against San Jose. And Nabokov will touch it, and the high stick will be the first penalty of the game.
And John, there really hasn't been a game that's been decided by the power plays. Could it be that game tonight? Shut this place up right now with a power play goal.
In the series, the Avalanche 4 for 18. They get it back on the line to Sakic. Flips one on to Blake. Blake sends it down low. Up front it is Forsberg, Tanguay, and Drury. Now Forsberg gets it on the far boards. Forsberg lost it. Now gets it back to Tanguay. Back on the line, tipped away by the Sharks. And it goes down the ice. Sakic for Forsberg. Leading all playoff scorers this year with 17 points. Tanguay to the line. Can't move in there, and then Drury pulled the man down, and he'll go off. And there goes the power play. A holding minor to Drury.
It's one of those penalties, John, that, you know, you're stopping a man from a breakaway, basically, for Drury. A little mix up at the blue line, and suddenly Sundstrom's going the other way. Drury's got to pull him down, so we play 4-on-4 hockey for 1 minute and 26 seconds. This is an area, now, obviously you never want to negate a power play, but something that San Jose feels that is an advantage to the Avalanche is 4-on-4 hockey with the groups of forwards especially, that they can throw one after another.
So holding minor at 6:38. We'll go 4-on-4 for 1 minute 26. And then the Sharks will get a brief power play. No score. Opening moments of game 6. Here's Adam Foote. Up the middle for Reinprecht. Reinprecht and Milan Hayduk on the ice. For the Avalanche is the forward. Nolan and Sturm for San Jose. Nolan a shot right on and a save by Waugh as he got that 5-hole closed.
Nolan, good shot on Patrick Waugh. And as we were mentioning, John, for Patrick Waugh, it's a milestone night. Guy Carbonneau played 231 playoff games. Patrick Waugh, this is his 231st playoff game. 113 with the Montreal Canadiens, now 118 with the Colorado Avalanche. Mark Messier leads all players in playoff appearances with 236. So if the Avalanche could win this series and move on, Patrick Waugh in the next series would be the all-time playoff appearance leader.
There's Sakic on the face-off against Downfus. And Sakic wins it cleanly now 4 foot. Again, they go 4-on-4 here. Sakic and Forsberg up front for the Avalanche. Here's Forsberg on to the captain. Sakic hits the line now for DeVries. Trying to make a play. The Sharks counter, and Nolan to center ice, but Foot got back on him. Now Nolan across, wide open. Ragnarsson, and a save by Waugh. And Foot had to be very careful with the rebound as that came in front of the empty net. Now Ragnarsson lets it go, tipped, and Waugh the save. He didn't know where it was, but it's under his pad, and another big save by Waugh.
And Patrick and Adam Foote having a little conversation, because that was Foote's stick that tipped the second one. The first one, it was Waugh moving out, and Waugh has, again, looked comfortable in net. As you're right, John, he had to work with that one, but the second one came through. Here's the first one again, Ragnarsson, the defenseman, jumping up into the play. Avalanche defensemen have outscored, goal-wise, San Jose's defensemen 7-1. But Patrick Waugh, a good save on the shot, and then on the little bit of deflection by Adam Foote.
Off the face-off, Solani gets free, deep slot, and a fancy drop pass is picked off by Yell. Still 4-on-4, and Yell forces one to the corner. And Brian Marchment back of his own goal. Here's Solani, and he'll get the puck to center. Blake comes across quickly to knock it away. Now Kasparaitis. Oh, Tanguay was in behind the defense, but that pass just failed to clip. Now Solani again. Looks for the big shot. Now does a 360. Fires it toward the goal, blocked by Blake. Kept in by the Sharks. Now they're on the power play. Marchment a shot, and that failed to get through, and the Avalanche to center. Tanguay trying to hit Sakic down the wall. The Avalanche making a change here. 20 left in Drury's minor. And back to get the puck. Sakic rips it off the boards. And down the ice, and Stewart going back. The Sharks in this series 3 for 16 on the power play. Here's Ricci to center for Ragnarsson. Waugh wanted to play it, lets it go to DeVries. Now the puck in the corner. Drury is back, so that short-lived power play is history, and both clubs are 0 for 1. Here's Drury trying to move it out. Tipped to center by Foote. Stephon Yell on his knees gets it in, and he goes off on a line change. Nearly 9 minutes gone, first period, no score. The shot 6-2 for the Sharks. High note into Hall. Rico Hall lets it go, and a save by Nabokov. Now Hall to the corner. Forced up the wall. Ricci trying to clear it. And he gets it on to center. Now Sundstrom off the skates of Hall. And the Avalanche go for the quick change. Here's Stewart. His pass into the zone for Nolan. His shot nowhere near the goal. Now Downfus gets it down low in front. And Skula broke it up, and he fires it back down the other way.
John, are we seeing a pattern here or what in this first period offensively? San Jose, when the puck comes to one board, they feel the Avalanche are overcommitting. They're just firing it across to the far side.
Well, coming to UPN 20, how many ways can you embarrass your son? Find out on that 70s show. Then Love Conquers All when opposites attract. Dharma and Greg this fall on UPN 20.
One of the reasons why Bob Hartley has not made any lineup changes, John, is that players are playing well. You look at the 12 forwards, every single one of the 12 forwards for the Avalanche have a point, not just in the playoffs, but in this series alone. So offensively, they're getting production.
Well, the Avalanche have scored at least 3 goals in every game in the series, and with 22 goals in this series, they are averaging over 4 goals a game. That's not the problem.
Yeah, the 42 goals in the series combined is the most by a mile in the playoffs.
Here's Forsberg to Reinprecht. He's onside. Gets it down low for Drury. Can't center it. Nolan back for San Jose. The one-time out. Four-handed. He lost the handle, and Blake turns it back the other way. The Sharks making a change. Reinprecht tried to steal it and nearly did so. And Nolan back in his own zone now for Mike Rathje. He is their ice time leader in these playoffs, over 23 minutes a game. Adam Foote for the Avalanche. Ahead to Yale, runs over a Shark player. That was Ricci, and we get a hand pass from one Avalanche player to another, as Ricci and Yale have some words. 0-0 midway through the first, and rebounded to win the last two games. Did You Know is brought to you by the Colorado Beef Council.
And did you know, in '98, it was Dallas over Colorado. The Avalanche won a wild one in Dallas, came home, lost Game 6 at home, and lost the cup. Lost the conference finals in Dallas.
Here's Rathje, long pass, too far for Thornton. No icy, no out to play it. And up on the wall for Milan Hejduk. His pass to center, turned away by Rathje, and Ricci burst right back into the Avalanche zone. Ricci, penalty coming up here. I believe on the Avalanche. It is. The block-off goes off. And now the Avalanche touch the puck, and a whistle and a tripping minor against the Avs. And it's against Foote.
What in front of that with Thornton? Thornton has been, you know, he really, this third line, it is so tough to describe their presence on the ice, because usually with a third line, John, that's a checking line for a club. You're expecting a certain presence, but not an offensive presence. And you look down the list. Sundstrom's had a goal and 3 assists. Ricci had a goal and assist last game, has 6 points so far in this series. Thornton, 2 goals, 3 points. They have made life miserable. And Thornton with the size, Ricci with the tenacity, Sundstrom with his overall hockey ability.
And the Sharks get their second power play tonight. No score. San Jose wins it. Back on the line to Rathje. To the corner. Blake read the play, but then he put the puck too high out of play, and that's a tough break for the Avalanche, as the faceoff will be deep in the Avs zone.
Well, Blake, who I'm not sure, John, it's ever happened. No one I'm sure would have the numbers, but for a defenseman in 3 consecutive games, games 2, 3, and 4, scored the first goal of the game. And the Avalanche 7 times. When they've scored the first goal of the game, 6 times they've won. For San Jose, John, 5 times they've scored the first goal, 5 times they've won. So you know these clubs realize how big that first goal is.
And the Avalanche win a big face-off, and DeBrys gets it down the ice. In the playoffs, the Avalanche have killed 29 of 33 power plays against, so only 4 goals scored, while the Avalanche have been short-handed. And Suter back in his own zone. 30 gone in the Foote minor. Here comes Gary Suter. Hits the red line. And the hard around played by Solani right in front. And Rob Blake clears it to Mike Keane, and he'll whack it down the ice.
John, it's hot in this building. I don't think the ice looked particularly good in warm-up. So I would think during the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of periods, it's going to hop around.
As the Avalanche got back to break it up. Good job by Dan Heinold. And now Stewart will retrieve it. 55 to go in the power play. Here comes Stewart. Leaves it on the line. Long shot. Saved by Waugh. And then Ricci runs right over Waugh, looking for the rebound.
A couple of times tonight, John, Waugh has reacted very quickly to pucks I don't think he saw when it hit him. He's been able to just find it wherever it's been. Last game, he didn't have that kind of luck. I point directly to the second goal scored last game. Yeah, the puck was bouncing through the middle.
Talk about the bad ice.
Yeah, exactly. But the second goal, pardon me, that Sundstrom scored last game. He made a spectacular recovery save knocked the puck away, and somehow Sundstrom banked it in from an impossible angle. That was the kind of luck Waugh was having in that last game.
Now Marleau on the faceoff against Drury. Drury has been the Avs' best faceoff man in the playoffs, 56%. Ricci takes it against Drury, and Drury wins it. And Rob Blake will clear it, and again a bad break for the Avalanche, and Blake clears it, but maybe this time off an Avalanche or a Shark player, or was it?
I think they're saying it went off Ragnarsson right at
Yes, it is
the blue line. Ragnarsson saying no, that it was already inside the player's box. Saying right there, he's saying, let's go, drop the puck. They are trying to work on, John, the defense. The Avalanche, the feeling is the Avalanche top four defensemen are playing the vast majority of the game. So you want to keep the game going as quickly as possible.
Sharks dump it in. Waugh to play it. Up on the wall. Ragnarsson pinches in out of the near side. Mike Keane hustling and gets there ahead of Stewart, and it goes down the ice. 22 seconds left, and Quick's minor penalty. Marleau winds up in his own zone. In for Ricci. Back of the goal. Waugh to play it. Cut off by Marleau. Lets a shot go. That was off a body and high over the Avalanche goal. Now Mike Keane in the corner. And the veteran spins around and clears it. Good job by the Avalanche to kill it off. And the Sharks are 0 for 2 on the power play. Still no score. Stewart can't get it deep. Here's Greg DeVries off the glass. And Stewart will handle it there for San Jose. Gives it up to Drury. Into the zone. Here's Drury in front to Forsberg. He goes wide. Forsberg on the wraparound. Can't get in front. As we know, as Forsberg has scored a couple of wraparound goals in this series. Kasparaitis sends it back in. And we get a whistle. And a break in the action. Time to check tonight's scouting report, brought to you by
A lot of that came in the third period when the Avalanche fell behind about 9 minutes into the third period.
So it's a bit of a misnomer that the Avs defense, their top four, have been overworked.
Are working more than normal. They haven't been.
Now the Sharks, Scott Hannon ahead for Graves. Checked there by Foot. And Milan Hayduk, a long-time Shark killer. He had 2 overtime goals in the '99 playoffs against San Jose. Here's Hayduk darting to the corner. Leaves it for Tanguay. He'll walk in front. Tanguay is open. And it's saved by Nabokov on the Avs' best scoring chance tonight. Now the puck played by Foot right to the Shark player, Sturm. And they battle for it as both teams lose it. Now Foot in the corner. Sundstrom there for San Jose. Forces one back of the goal for Harvey. Back on the line to Hannon. Long shot. Just wide of the net. Waugh never saw it. Now Sundstrom taken out by Skula. Here's Harvey. Skula knocked it away. And Martin Skula trying to work it out of the zone, and he flips it high down the ice. It doesn't go all the way, so there's no icing. Now Rafji. His pass blocked by Rico Hall. And Larson plays it back. Kasparaitis trying to hit Dan Heinout. And Suter got there ahead of Heinout, and icing called against the Avalanche. The race is on for the Stanley Cup.
The San Francisco 49ers, now Oakland Raiders, enjoying the game here tonight.
What an athlete.
Oh. Just a little bit of speed, John.
No score here in game 6. 5:20 left in the first period. The Avalanche trying to clear it. Yell works hard on the boards, gets it ahead to Messier now for Keane. And Mike Keane lets a wrist shot go. Big rebound came in front. And the Sharks got back to break it up. Todd Harvey up the boards. To center ice for Suter. Now into Dumfus. One-on-one, and Blake, a great job to poke it away, and Dumfus never got a sniff. And Mike Keane feeds one ahead to Messier. And he'll get it deep and go off on the line change. Suter turns for San Jose. Tipped by Nolan, but it's taken by Drury. Drury, Forsberg, and Reinprecht for the Avalanche. Reinprecht off the board. Forsberg trying to get there. Ahead of Marchment. Now Reinprecht after it. And the Sharks break it up. Forsberg has lost his stick. Drury, good pass back for Foot. Foot looks in front and can't get a shot. And the Sharks the other way, 2-on-2. Here's Marleau, works in, and Foot got back to block it. And never got a shot on goal. And Forsberg, who has his lumber back, now for Foot. And he gets it high onto center ice.
Boy, John, the Avalanche got away with one there. Forsberg couldn't get a stick at the bench, and it led to a 3-on-2.
As Solani fires it wide, now tipped back to the goal. Solani is there. And Foot bothering him. Now Solani to the line. Sakic knocked it away right to Foot. And the Avalanche to center. Here comes Sakic to Hayduk. 2-on-2. Ball on. Hayduk works in. Quick shot, and it's saved by Nabokov. Now Hayduk again for Tanguay. Left it for Hayduk. To the slot. A shot in the box off the blocker save. Hayduk has it again. He's been all over the ice in this first period. Now, and the Sharks break it up but can't clear it. Here's Stewart again. And he gets it high and by Blake on the point. Now picked up by Sundstrom. Drop pass and Rico Hall broke it up. As the teams go end to end. Here's Tanguay. On for Skula. Oh, he lost it. And the Sharks back in. Sundstrom a drive right on goal and a save by Waugh. And no rebound.
Waugh gave Sundstrom a little shot because Sundstrom came back into him. The referee pointed at Sundstrom. Just stay away from the goalie. Boy, it is heating up in the Avalanche, John. Those giveaways. I mean, you're trying to keep the puck out of your own zone because that's where you have trouble. You cannot make mistakes in the neutral zone because eventually that kind of shot is going to beat you. I mean, that is, he's walking in from 25 feet on a giveaway in the neutral zone. The Avalanche are getting what they needed from Patrick Waugh. He has had a strong first period.
Bob Hartley said in the third period the other night in Game 5 that the team just did not seem to have the urgency to finish off the Sharks as they came back with 3 goals in the third to win it 5-3.
The Avalanche had a total of 4 shots in the third period.
Here's Marchment on the line. Long shot. Oh, that just went wide with traffic in front. Kaspritis to the far corner. Here's DeBreeze up on the wall, and Mike Keane gets it out. But this will be an icing call against the Avalanche.
But as simple as that looked, John, that was a great job by the Avalanche. There was pressure by San Jose down low. Chip pass, dump it down the ice. Don't get trapped. It doesn't have to be fancy, it has to be effective.
Well, if you'd like to be on the waiting list for future Avalanche season tickets, you should call 303-405-1212 during regular business hours, and you can get your name on the list and maybe get tickets as early as next year. Or you can also log on to ColoradoAvalanche.com. Now Ricci on the face-off against Drury, a pair of 18. Drury wins it. And played by DeBreeze up on the near side, not out, kept in, backhander. By Harvey, never got through. Adam Foote trying to get to the puck. Against Stern. 3 Avalanche players after it, and Forsberg gets it to DeBreeze. Now to center ice for Reinprecht. And Stern back in his own line. Now for Ricci. Into the zone. And Blake ran Harvey off the puck. And Darius Kaspritis on the far side for Reinprecht. He turns and gets it down the ice. And icing will be called against the Avs.
This is a good look at the Stewart, John. He has impressed me in this series. It's been a little different, the combinations that San Jose has used with their defense. Rathje and Ragnarsson usually play together, but we've seen Rathje and Hannon, Stewart and Ragnarsson paired together with Marchment and Suter as that third group. And you know, you're looking at Stewart, just 22 years old. You're looking at Hannon, just 23. This club is well constructed. They're big. We talked about at the start of the series. They didn't make a trade during the regular season. They stuck with the club they had from training camp all the way through the playoffs.
Avalanche off the face-off of their own zone, and Kasparaitis gets it out. Now back in for Damphousse. Great pass in front. Nolan is open. A shot just wide, I think, by Sturm. Is that missed? Now Hayduk back in his own end. They speed to center for Kasparaitis. His pass blocked. And the Sharks send it back into Avalanche territory. 90 seconds left. Oh, Kasparaitis ducked in time, and Nolan went flying into the boards. Here are the Avs to center. Here's Hayduk. Trying to get a shot. Now to Sakic. What a play by Kasparaitis to read that hit coming. DeVries kept it in. Now the puck played by the Sharks. Rathje gets it out. Tip to the Avalanche line, and Adams put back on Graves, and here are the Avs again. Hayduk through the neutral zone. Hayduk to the line, a shot and a save by the Nabokov. With a minute to go in the first. Now Solani feeds Marleau. Into the slot, chipped away, bouncing puck. Solani can't get a shot, and then Rico Hall hooked down, but he gets it out, and play continues. Tip to the Avs line, blocked by Blake. Here comes Blake into the zone. Blake, a drive, and he just missed. Top corner, that just missed. And on the wall, Messier. His pass blocked. Solani the other way. 30 left. And he gets it deep, and he goes off on a line change. As Waugh leaves it for Blake. He did not miss by much at the other end.
And did he unload? I didn't realize his wrist shot was that good. I know the slap shot, but boy, the wrist shot.
And this will be an icing call against the Avalanche.
Here's I mean, you talk about an interesting play, Biden. There's not many guys that can do this. Kasparaitis knows he's going to get hammered. Now watch, he times it perfectly. He just bends, and he just catapults Nolan up over that big rear end. Watch him. Goes in, he just sticks it out. Come on, up and over. And then there's a great little byplay as they're coming up the ice. Kasparaitis, you know, talking to his fellow number 11. That's been a good battle, John, in this series. Kasparaitis and Nolan. Kasparaitis, the left side defenseman. Nolan, the right winger. They're showing it on the big screen right now.
And Darius is admiring his work. Kasparaitis leads all players in hits in the playoffs with 69. And one big missed hit there.
You know, I don't think they do it, but it's sometime. It might be tough. They should register how many times a player is hit.
Here's Forsberg to center. His shot blocked. And back to the Avs line. This period will end 0-0. Like game 5. And that's only the second time in the series these clubs have played a scoreless period. But to the Avalanche, the road team, that in a way is a moral victory.
Absolutely. It's absolutely what the Avalanche wanted. Now the pressure moves to San Jose because they don't want to go back for a game 7. Shot chances about the same. A couple of those scoring chances for San Jose came on turnovers. Not a good idea. Hits about the same. Face-offs one. John, I mean, it was an even period of hockey. And just looking at the benches here, John, Bob Hartley has always told us in the second period, that's when those funny things can happen on line changes. We'll see if that is one of the things that may give one of these clubs a lift in this game.
Here's Milan Hayduk back for the Avalanche. He led all players with 4 shots on goal in that first period. And Nabokov flips one up the near side. Foot pinching in, can't get it. Sharks fail to clear it. Sakic gets the puck for the Avalanche to Tanguay. Now down low for Hayduk. Back for Tanguay. In the slot, Sakic is there. Sakic, quick shot. And a save by Nabokov. And it's fired off the boards. And down the ice. Waugh wants to play it. So there is no icing.
Yeah, that was waved off the minute it came out of the zone. So Waugh saw that and played the puck.
Now Drury after it. Trying to beat Forsberg. Forsberg picks it up in the corner. Spins away from Ricci. Does another 360. Forsberg looks in front. Ricci holds him. Now Kasparaitis comes in. Avalanche still after it. Forsberg trying to feed it in front. Now walks in front. Kasparaitis, a shot. Just missed an open net. Just missed the open net after a great play by Forsberg. And the Sharks clear it down the ice. And icing will be called as Kasparaitis, who missed by inches, goes back.
Kasparaitis shaking his head. Nice read on the far side. But what opens it up, John, is the play by Forsberg. He just lost Mike Ricci in the corner. Ricci did a good job of trying to get in there. The puck comes all the way across on the far side. But Forsberg just does one of his little magic acts in the corner where he's not only is he not here and he's not there and you can't find him, but the minute you do find him, he runs you over. That's what separates him, John. It's not necessarily the quickness or it's the quickness and the strength. The combination make him so tough.
Now Mike Keane on the face-off against Marleau. Marleau wins it. Trying to clear the puck out of the zone. Messier there for the Avalanche. Now gets some support from Yell. As they battle for the puck. Here's Keane to the corner. Now for Yell. Taken out by Suter. Loose puck gobbled up by Messier. Marchman is on him. Messier trying to work it off the boards. Now Yell was knocked down. He gets up. Here's Messier again. Leaves it back of the goal. Keane comes along. Good cycling by this line. Here's the puck played by Marchment. And trying to skate away from the forechecking of Messier. And Suter on to center ice. Solani, nice pass off the wall to Marleau. In front to Graves. What a save by Waugh. Brilliant save on Graves by Waugh. Now Graves to the corner. Held up by DeVries. The Avalanche trying to clear it. Marleau for Graves. Again, DeVries works him over. And Graves can't get away. And Solani battles in front with Rico Hall. Now Solani gets it back of the goal. Spins away from Hall. Centers and Marleau in front. Can't get a shot. Kept in by Rafji. Now back of the goal. Put chops it by Solani. And Mike Keane has been on the ice for a long time. He'll slow it down. And Keane will flip it off the glass to center. Now the Sharks after it again. Here comes Harvey. Feeds Mateau down the far boards. In front, a shot. Wide of the goal by Bradley. What a chance there. On another goal mouth feed. And the Avalanche need a face-off. And Keane will ice it.
Well, for the Avalanche, back-to-back times, John, they got beat to the front of the net. The first time it was a brilliant read by Waugh that stuck Graves. But Bradley's chance, there's Graves right there coming in. That's the first chance where he moves right out on Graves and takes him out of the play. Now Waugh, just a little check to his right by Waugh, and he saw that big pad come across, and then he stayed strong to the right post. And Bradley just missed to the far side.
So the Avalanche can thank Patrick Waugh that this game is still scoreless. As Domfus wins the faceoff, but it goes all the way down the ice. And Rafki will go back for San Jose. He is their plus-minus leader in this series at +6. Center ice now. Domfus checked by Kasparaitis. Now for Tanguay. Chips it by a man, but Hannon got back for San Jose. Rides it off the wall to center. Now Domfus to the Avs line, blocked by Kasparaitis. One ahead on the stick to the San Jose line. Hannon now for Nolan. Here's Nolan into the zone. He's got 3 goals in the series. Good pass back to Hannon. A shot and a save by Waugh. And Tanguay behind his own goal for Kasparaitis. Up to Sakic. And a good pass to center now for Hayduk. Hits the line with speed for Tanguay. And he can't get it down low. Stewart will flip it high. Back to the Avalanche line. Skola can't clear it. And a diving play by Skola to recover. As he got the puck first and then the man, and no call. Much to the dismay of the fans here at the Shark Tank. Now Skola again. And he gets it deep. The Avalanche trying to do some forechecking. Heinold is after it. Heinold on the boards with Larson. Well, Ricci trying to feed it up the wall. Kept in by Skola. Here's a long shot by Larson. Failed to get through. And Thornton back to center ice, and he'll dump it in. Brian Muir for the Avalanche. Checked by Sundstrom. Wheels back of the goal. On the line, a shot by Suter. And that was wide. Held in again. Now Thornton back of the goal. Checked by Rico Hall. Skola at his pocket, picked by Sundstrom. Out of the corner, Brian Muir trying to fire it out. Off the boards and finally poked away by Rico Hall. And the Avalanche get a change. 5:15 gone in the second. Here's Ricci to center ice. Skola lost it. Solani comes in, and he can't get around for a shot. Now Drury to the corner. Up on the boards to Dan Heinold. And Heinold crosses the red line. Shots now 12-9 in the game for San Jose. Tipped to center ice by Graves. Now DeVries back the other way for Forsberg into the Shark zone. Forsberg in front. Drury lost it. Gets it back. Great play back to Foot. Lets it go. And a save by Nabokov. That may have been tipped by Reinfrecht. Graves can't clear it. Foot kept it in. Foot down low. Long shot. More of a pass than anything to Reinfrecht. Now Forsberg fights off the check. Lost his balance. And Solani flips it out as the intensity continues here in the second period.
Everybody is playing it hard. Everybody's trying to draw a penalty right now.
Here's Reinfrecht near the Shark line. Nice play to Yale. Squeezed off the puck by Marco Sturm, and Marchment gets it for San Jose. And a whistle and penalties, I believe, to Forsberg and the Shark player, Ragnarsson. They will both go.
Time and time again, if any of the Denver fans have met Peter Forsberg personally, John, I mean, he is such a gentleman. He is so quiet. But when he gets on the ice and he gets into the rink, he has this ferocity to his game that is, it's amazing to watch. He just will not give up on any single play or player or whatever the situation.
Well, Forsberg and Ragnarsson in matching minors at 6:23. So the teams go 4-on-4. Here comes Tanguay. Tanguay in with Sakic. To Sakic. Can't knock it out of midair. And the Sharks have it. Sundstrom trying to work the center. Sakic pounds him. Long feed to Ricci. And Ricci gets it near the line, is stopped. And Kasparaitis fires it, intended for Sakic. And no icing here as play goes on. Sharks to center ice. Now for Scott Hannon. Hannon, tough angle. Good pass in front to Dumfus, but DeVries knocked it away from him. And here comes Milan Hajduk. He's been flying tonight. Hajduk with some room. Hajduk works in. A shot. And the block off, let a rebound, play in front, but no one was there. Now Steve Reinfrecht back on the goal, can't get it. And Nolan to center. He walks around Hajduk. Now Nolan in on Foot. Nolan trying to drop it back. And Foot, a good job to break it up. Here's Dumfus back of the goal against DeVries. Wheels back to the line. And plays one to the corner. No one is there. The Sharks want to change, and Adam Foot gets it. And he gets to center ice for Reinfrecht. Just on the red line, and he'll dump it in. And 25 to go in the minors to Ragnarsson and Forsberg. Solani loose at center. Far side to Marleau. Stopped by Kasparaitis. Kasparaitis lost his stick. Now he gets it back. Here's Stewart in for the point. And can't center it. Marleau after it for the Sharks. And Rob Blake came across to break it up. And the Avs to center with Sakic. In with Drury. Now for Drury. Down the slot. Backhander and a save by Nabokov. And the penalized players are back. Drury is wiped out in the corner. And he's slow to get back on his skates. Solani to center ice. Teams at full strength. Marleau in front. Over the stick of Stewart. Plays it back to the goal for Solani. Can't walk in front. Now Blake to the corner against Graves. They battle. Graves trying to kick it away. And Blake holds him up. Here's Marlowe, a backhander. Gets it again. And it was blocked by Mike Keane. And Forsberg dances to center ice. Here's a 4-on-2 break. Forsberg into the zone to Keane. A shot. That was blocked at the defense. Now Forsberg again in front. Mike Keane is open. And can't get a shot on goal. And the Sharks clear it down the ice. And icing will be called here on San Jose.
I mean, you can almost feel that first goal, John. It's coming. It is. They're going at it at both ends of the ice.
Well, the City Lights Pavilion is downtown Denver's new open-air amphitheater on the grounds of Pepsi Center, and VIP boxes are available. Food and beverage service along with other amenities are available in boxes that seat from 4 to 8. The City Lights Pavilion opening this summer. For more information on VIP boxes, call 405-1250.
Bob Hartley in this game, John, again, using this fourth line. And what they're looking for from this fourth line, John, is to give the Avalanche that energy in the third period. The fourth line will play more in the first two periods to set up what's going to be happening in the third period. Come down to the third period, you know at a certain point, whether you're ahead or behind, you're going to shorten your bench. But what you want from this fourth line is energy. You want to pound down on the defenseman. That's why so far in this game, every single time the Avalanche fourth line has been on the ice, they've had Suter and Marchment out there, the third defensive pair for San Jose, because they don't want the first two out there groups getting tired out, because they're the ones that go against Sakic and Forsberg.
As Harvey wins the face-off from Hall, the puck around the boards. Mateau trying to clear it. Skula on the line. Did not keep it in. Now it's Suter again for San Jose. Here's Skula back. Poked around him by Todd Harvey. Law runs it around the far side. Marchment trying to keep it in. He does. Now Bradley whips one to the corner. Harvey lost it, but Marchment kept it in. Now Stefan Mateau. Won a couple of the Rangers in '94. For Bradley. To Mateau. Now Skula back of the goal. Ducks under a check. Can't clear. Suter shot, a weak one. Gloved by Waugh. And then Muir does some pushing.
Yeah, Stefan Mateau, John, for those people that are a little bit of hockey historians, scored one of the most dramatic goals in New York Ranger. And of course, the Rangers always think that's where hockey rises and sets. But it was a tremendous goal in a great Stanley Cup run in Game 7 against the New Jersey Devils. He scored 2 double overtime game winners for the New York Rangers. And the second one in Game 7 had to be, and we've talked about it, John, you and I, on the air in years past, talking about Mateau. But as far as a 7-game series, as punishing and hard-hitting, Adam Graves was in that series. He actually scored 62 goals that year, 52 in their regular season, and 10 more in the playoffs.
But Mateau, one of 4 players to ever score 2 double overtime goals. Here the Avs to center ice. Tanguay too far from the line. Hayduk, and fired off the glass by Rafji and over the glass, and a face-off will be in the Shark zone. No score midway through Game 6. Snap. I'm John Kelly live at the Shark Tank. No score. And get it back to Blake. Throws one deep for Sakic. Now on the boards, Milan Hayduk cycles one to Forsberg. So Forsberg and Sakic on the ice together here. As the Avalanche are gunning for that first goal, and they hold it in the corner. Another faceoff will take place to the left of the Bakov.
John, here's what Forsberg faces every night. And, you know, you can say now, is what's strangling the National Hockey League as far as scoring goals? Rafsky come across, grab him, and just hold him. Now, just absolutely just hold him and throw him down. And there's not going to be a call, and it's because there's not going to be a call on Blake if he does the same thing at the other end, or foot. But defensemen are now allowed to just do that. And You wonder why guys like Forsberg, Mary Lemieux quit at one time because of that. And the great players aren't allowed to have any open ice anywhere in hockey.
You're right. Plays like that are strangling the game.
Oh, I mean, but it's part of the game. We'll point to Foot to it. We'll point to Blake. I mean, it's what's allowed.
Now the Sharks dump it in. Sturm on the far wall. Pressured from behind by Kasparaitis. As 5 players battle for it. The Avs get it free. Forsberg to center to Sakic. Now on to Blake. 3-on-3. Drop pass to Sakic. And he lost an edge, but here comes Forsberg to the corner. Trying to center one. And a whistle, and I believe a penalty for slashing against San Jose.
That'd be against Danfus from behind. The Avalanche, John, you gotta love it. The little things, the little hunches the coaches throw. What did Bob Hartley do with a face-off deep in San Jose's end with 9.5 minutes to go? He lumps together his superstars. Sakic, Forsberg, Hayduk, Blake, all on the ice together right in that face-off to the right side. And right in front of that, you're going to see Danfus just unload on the man in front.
That was Hayduk.
Yeah.
And he gets 2 for slashing. The Avalanche get their second power play. Their first power play lasted about 25 seconds.
And for Bob Hartley, again, a little bit of a hunch. He's going with Sakic and Blake as his point men, not the 2 defensemen. He is going for it right now.
4 forwards on the ice. Drury at center between Tanguay and Forsberg. The Avs' second power play tonight. 4 for 19 in the series. Drury wins it back to Sakic. Red shot just missed the near post. And Ragnarsson to center ice. And he'll kill some time. A bouncer. Waugh will play it. And away from Ricci in the nick of time. And Sakic back for the Avalanche. He'll fire one to the corner for Forsberg. Now on to Drury. Pressure by San Jose, but Drury, nice pass to center, now into the zone to Blake. And it was offside at the San Jose line.
John, we're getting into that point of the game where you don't want to get into stats, but just one thing about Sakic and his playoff year so far, 7 goals. The players that he's passed on the list to move himself into 20th spot all time in playoff goals, imagine these names: Joe Nieuwendyk, Cam Neely, Bernie Boom Boom Geoffrion, Guy Lafleur, Paul Coffey, Stan Mikita, Joey Mullen, Jacques Lemaire, Phil Esposito, Bobby Hull. Hall of Fame, 7 Hall of Famers he's passed in this playoff series with 7 goals. Now has 63.
Look out here, Skula. Checked from behind, but the Avalanche get back to recover, and here they come. Hayduk to center ice, down to Reinprecht. Avs on the power play, no score. He guns it in the box off, trying to flip it. That hit a body. It was Dan Heino. Now back to the goal. It's Milan Hayduk getting free from some checking. Leaves it for Reinprecht. Trying to work out of the corner. Centering feed. Broken up by Nolan. And he'll pound it down the ice. And both clubs make changes. Under a minute to go in Danfus' minor. It is Foot and Blake on defense. Up front, Sakic, Forsberg, and Drury. Here's Sakic to center ice. 4 Sharks are there, but he gains the zone. But he was offside as Drury, I believe, or Forsberg were offside.
Now you see how it changes, John. What did Bob Hartley do the second time for this unit? He throws the 2 defensemen. And you wonder if for Bob Hartley, if the ice conditions, he knew that maybe he had a couple more minutes where the ice was going to be okay. Now when the ice is starting to get maybe a little chippier, maybe not as good, you get your 2 defensemen back there because there might be that quick turnover.
And there is some debris back in front of Patrick Waugh. And the linesman Ray Scampanella will clean it up. Perhaps somebody threw something on the ice. Well, there's a hole in the ice.
Yeah, a little hole in the ice, John. Well, John, for the Avalanche, they didn't know what to expect when it all started. These playoffs started, but Forsberg has 5 goals in 11 games to go along with his 12 assists for 17 points. And they have been some great, typical Peter Forsberg goals where imagination as well as skill is always part of the action for Peter Forsberg. There's a goal last game that tied it at 1. 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points, leads all players in points. On top of that, John, you add up last year before he left, when they had his spleen removed, you take together his last 21 playoff games, he's got 31 points. Not a bad number.
Not a bad number by number 21. 35 to go in the power play. Here comes Sackett. And he'll dump it in. Comes from there, left it. And Drury picks it up. Back on the line to Blake. Now on the half boards to Drury. Back to Blake. Great pass. Blake, a shot. And the Backoff made the save. Tanguay wrestled down in the corner. Avs trying to get it free. They do. Here's Drury on the line again to Blake. Now for Sackett. Back to Blake. He'll walk in. To Tanguay in front. Can't get a shot on goal. Sackett to Drury. Back to the captain. He walks in. Fires it. And that may have hit the crossbar. And gone over the glass.
John, yes, you're right. And Nabokov was screened. Sackett walked in. As we're watching, it'll be the right post, I believe, John, that hits King right off the crossbar. And if you want, it also hits something else in front of the net first. It just changed direction enough. I'm not sure what that hit. Did that hit Tanguay as he was getting pushed down?
It definitely hit somebody.
It hits a nice pass by Drury, who had a great shift going through maybe the knob of his stick. From that angle, we couldn't see, but it definitely hit the crossbar.
And the Avalanche now 0 for 2 on the power play. No score. Click dumps it in. Here's DeBris to the corner from Mike Keane. Gets away from his man. Now Yell picks it up. Cycles one to Keane. For Messier. Messier trying to wheel it in front. He does. Keane is there. Yell, a shot. And it never got on goal. As the Sharks had good coverage in front. Quick kept it in. Now Yell on the boards. And his bouncer is wide of Nabokov. And it's played by Marchman up the boards to Graves. Here's DeBris off the boards for Brad Larson. He had a game winner here late in the regular season. And the Sharks force it down the ice. The Avalanche won both games in this building in the regular season. And going back to the 98-99 season, the Avalanche have won 10 of their last 12 games in this building. So they've had great success
they're
here.
very comfortable here.
Icing called there. Labor Day weekend. Don't miss the thrill of racing when the Grand Prix of Denver roars into town around the streets of Pepsi Center. See some of the world's best drivers, including Paul Tracy and Kenny Brack. For more information, visit denvergrandprix.com or call the Pepsi Center box office at 405-1111.
Terrific shift for the Avalanche's checking line, the third line. Keane, Yell, and Messier. They couldn't quite get open in front. Messier, a terrific job of fighting off Marchman, gets it in front. And then, John, it's just like it's there. You know it's there because everybody's hunting around, but you just can't find it.
Now, big face-off to the right of Waugh. Sturm off the face-off, controls it. Down low for Nolan. Casquettes swept it away from him. He had his stick held a bit by Domfus. Now Nolan in front for Domfus. Backhander through the goal crease. And out the other side, Haydu gets it near the line. And now to center ice for the Avalanche. Here comes Haydu, 3-on-2. Into the zone to Sackett. Drop pass to Tanguay. A shot. And that hit traffic in front, maybe Rathje. And the Sharks flip one high to center for Sturm. He waits a bit, now lets it go, and Blake will block the shot. And Blake off the glass to center for Haydu. Picked up by Kasparaitis. His pass to Tanguay blocked. And Mike Ricci the other way. In the midst of a line change, Ricci now down low to Thornton in front, and Blake knocked it away to the corner. Here's Haydu. He's been on the ice for a while here. Around on the boards to Tanguay. Ragnarsson kept it in. Ricci near the line. Ricci walks in. A shot. And that hits something went to the corner. And play behind the Avalanche goal. Rob Blake after it. He's bumped by Stewart. Sharks pressing here. Both clubs are desperate for the first goal. Sundstrom in front. They score!
John, we talked about it at the start of this period, the line change. And when you're at that far, you can't get off. The line for the Avalanche, the Sakic line, got caught out on just a long, never-ending shift. And finally, they lose their man just for a second. And Ragnarsson scored only the second goal by a defenseman for San Jose in this series, but it's that first goal of the game.
And his first ever playoff goal. It comes at 15-17. Here are the Sharks again. Solani. And a save by Waugh on Teemu Solani. Here's Skula back to center now to Reinprecht. Reinprecht trying to go wide. Cuts around Ragnarsson. Now Reinprecht in front. Backhander. Scores! Oh, what a goal by Reinprecht. His first of the series, and the Avalanche come right back to tie the game.
No goals in this series. 4 goals against LA, 2 game winners. He had not played well the last couple of games. John, that was as good an individual effort as we have seen. Where he makes the brilliant play is not only going to the outside on Ragnarsson, but watch the little stutter step once he gets around in front, John, and he cuts himself right here. He cuts back against the flow, and that's where he froze everybody. It looked like he was going to go back to the point of the shot, and then he just cuts in. And everybody took their eye off him for a second. There was traffic in front, and this game is tied. A huge goal by Steven Reinprecht.
His 5th of the postseason, first of the series at 15:41. It comes 24 seconds after Ragnarsson had scored from Sundstrom. What a big goal there by Reinprecht.
And remember last game, it went 32 minutes without a goal, and then there was 5 goals in less than 6 minutes. I don't think the coaches could handle that if it happened here again tonight.
Now Sturm to center ice. He'll flip one in. Owen Nolan gets there. Centering pass broken up by the Avs. Then Stepan Yell to center. Now ahead to Mike Keane. Battling against Marchment. So the goal by Reinprecht 24 seconds after Ragnarsson's goal.
And the ice is getting bad. The ice is getting very, very choppy right now.
There's Heinold to center ice for Foote. Played by Marchment, knocked out of midair by Heinold. Heinold into the zone now for Larson. In front, Larson, a shot. Never got through. Now Larson again. Taken up by Marchment. Larson keeps on going. Pulled down by Marchment. Penalty called there. And the Avalanche will get a power play. Good work by Larson.
Yeah, remember this play. Larson's work in the corner. It draws a penalty. You're looking for guys that have got that little jump. He had that jump the last goal. He's back out there on the first power play unit.
It is 1-1. The Avs 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. And the faceoff won by Dumfries from Drury and cleared down the ice. Sakic and Blake on the point. Up front, Forsberg, Reinprecht, and Drury. The Avalanche 4 for 20 in the series. Here's Drury at center. Can't make a play around Stern. Now Forsberg goes back in, feet across the ice for Sakic. And he can't get it in. Sakic gets some help from Reinprecht, and the Sharks force it down the ice. Here's Blake to center ice. And Blake goes across into the middle. Forsberg to Reinprecht in front, and it bounced over his head. Now Forsberg gets it back to Reinprecht. What a play by Peter the Great. Now Forsberg to the corner. Against Hannon. Forsberg gets it off the wall. Back on line, Sakic. Now for Blake. Right wing side to Forsberg. Once in every game in this series. For Drury, lost it, and look out here. As Drury got back to break it up. And then Ricci flipped it in. And he goes down. Sakic back for the Avalanche. 55 to go in the power play. In a 1-1 game, Sakic to Keane. And a soft shot, and Nabokov, no problem there. And he hangs on.
Keane almost tried to work that a little too much, John. He went down, Ricci, pardon me, and, you know, he didn't quite get to the bench in time.
Well, coming up after the game here on UPN 20 at Star Trek Voyager, or for complete live post-game coverage, flip over to Fox Sports Net.
John, if anyone had told you before the series that it was going to be this kind of offensive series, you would have said you were nuts. The LA-Colorado series averaged 4.2 goals. The Phoenix-San Jose series averaged 4.0 goals. Colorado-New Jersey, San Jose during the season, 3.25. This one coming tonight, 8.4. I don't think we're going to see 8 goals tonight, John.
Sakic gets the face-off, back for Skula. Nice flip pass in the slot to Sakic. Now to Tanguay, back to Sakic, across the slot, and Graves read it and pokes it down the ice. And Skula got back in a big hurry and knocks it over the boards at the San Jose bench.
Now Skula, who picked up an assist, does a good job there of his angle, because the puck's going through that zone where it's going to slow down, and you cannot pardon me, Owen Nolan to get position on it. You have to get to the puck first, and Skula did a good job.
The Shark goal, Ragnarsson from Sundstrom and Ricci at 15-17. The Avs goal, Reinprecht from Skula at 15-41. Now 34 to go in the power play. The Avalanche win the faceoff, and Foot will go back. Forsberg up front with Sakic and Reinprecht. Here comes Forsberg. And he'll dump it in off the Shark player, Ragnarsson. Sakic trying to get there. And the puck in that corner. Reinprecht digging hard. Now back toward the line. Rob Blake cannot hold it in. And Blake puts it up the boards for Forsberg. He goes across 2 foot. And he'll drive it down the ice. Sakic gets it to Forsberg. Penalty is over. Forsberg, a pass in front, knocked away. And the Sharks get it out to center. Here's Owen Nolan. Trying to run around Foot and put a good job on him. And Mike Keane back behind his own goal. Marleau checked him. Nolan gets it. And is run down by Foot. Fangio, but no call. And Blake up the boards to Messier, and he'll chip it into the Shark zone in the final minute of the second. Here's Keane to keep it in. Keane runs into Rafchi. And the puck flipped over the head of DeVries into the Avs zone. Kasparaitis got back, and he knocked it high and over the glass and out of play.
Boy, nice play by Kasparaitis. That was Solani coming down the boards. Kasparaitis has to read the play, adjust, and he comes. Great support by Kasparaitis. Stays on the far side, John. It's Solani coming across. He's going to have that shot. Watch Kasparaitis come into from the right to the left part of your screen as the puck chips up. There he is right there. He comes across, and now he's able to skate with Solani, chip the puck out of the zone. He stays over on the far side. Solani's walking in.
And that's what happened on the winner in Game 5 when Kasparaitis came up on Marleau, and then Blake didn't come across, and that allowed Solani to walk in.
And there was no support from the forward winger on the far side. So, you know, you have to get support.
And read the play. What a game, though. 1-1 in the final minute of the second period. Here's Kasparaitis. He'll lob one over the head of the defenseman. And Hannon turns for the Sharks. Rico Hall to keep it in, but not for long. Now to center ice for Domfus. Into the Avs zone. Milan Hajduk back, and he'll poke one to center, where Hannon gets it. And right back in the Avs zone it goes. Here's Kasparaitis. Spins away from the man. Lost it. Look out, Solani overskates it in the slot. That's a break for the Avalanche. And Hajduk to center ice. Now for Sakic. He'll wheel back to the red line. 7 to go in the period. And Hannon gets it. And this period is going to end with each team getting a goal. And we are still even after 2.
Well, as big as Ragnarsson's was, coming right back by Reinprecht. Quieted every.
Go back to Denver for Game 7. The Sharks, they're looking to swim into the 3rd round for the first time in their 11-year history. The 3rd period is next.
Colorado, the place you call home. And First Bank's proud to be here. offering free checking for a year with a First Teller Visa check card. That's free for the first year, too, and access to a large network of free ATMs. First Bank's your neighborhood bank, right down the street in over 100 Colorado locations. First Bank, check them out.
Truly are my true love. Our love shines like a beacon. It's perfect.
Two grilled stuffed burritos.
Bring it on.
It's big, it's beefy. It's the grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. Seasoned beef, 3 melted cheeses, sealed inside a grilled tortilla. The affordable heavy-duty portable is just $1.99. For the heaviest meal on wheels, you gotta think outside the bun.
Y'all ready for this?
Are you ready for the selection, the value, the excitement? It's Toyota's nationwide summer event with 18 models to choose from, more cars featuring Camry, a complete lineup of tough trucks, and all of your favorite SUVs. It's here, the all-new 2003 Matrix and the totally transformed 2003 Corolla with a dramatic new look.
Y'all ready for this?
Get the Toyota you've been wanting now. We're ready. Are you?
Well, the hardest thing about being divorced is staying close to my daughter, Rachel. Being separated by 3 states is really difficult.
He's my dad. I just have to be able to talk to him more.
With AT&T Unlimited, you can talk to any AT&T residential long-distance customer for as long as you want. It's for $19.95 a month.
He listens to me. I love he's so fun.
It doesn't feel like 3 states anymore.
Call 1-800-REACH-OUT.
The pressure builds in Game 6. 1-1 going to the third period. The Sharks up 3-2 in the series.
John, one quick thing to remember. As the Zamboni was going around the ice here in San Jose, they had 3 guys on the ice filling up little holes. The ice is starting to get a little rough. As we look at our Chevy stats through 2 periods, rock solid even across the board. Key one, neither club has scored on their power play opportunities.
And away we go with the third period. Sakic, Tanguay, and Hayduk up front for the Avalanche. Against Dumfus, Graves, and Nolan. Or rather Sturm on the left wing. The Avalanche block it near the line. The Graves there now lost it to Nolan. He'll race to the corner. Nolan trying to center one. He does, but it goes right through the goal crease. Dumfus can't center. And Hayduk for the Avalanche on to Tanguay. From the red line, that's blocked by Rafji. And Karam's to the corner. Tanguay trying to get there. And now Rafji will take it. For San Jose up the middle for Sundstrom. Tipped on. The Thornton works in. A shot and a glove saved by Waugh on a hard shot by Thornton. Colorado Avalanche Hockey is brought to you by your Colorado GMC dealers. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Conoco, with Conoco, you're good to go. And by your Greater Denver Ford dealers.
Ragnarsson scored the first goal. Place went nuts. Reinfrecht scored the second goal a few seconds later, quieted everything out. And that's where we sit right now.
As Sakic, or rather Drury, wins the faceoff for the Avalanche. And the puck to center, blocked there by Ragnarsson. Now Sundstrom lost the handle. Forsberg gets it. And Drury trying to dump it in. Ragnarsson up the far wall. Too far for Thornton. Played by the Avalanche. And Reinprecht will dump it in and go off on a line change. Around on the near side for Ragnarsson. Big hit there by Mike Keane on Ragnarsson. And Forsberg nearly lost it. It's tipped away by foot. And it goes over the glass. And where will the faceoff be?
Who did Keane hit? Jovanovski. Remember in the Florida series,
Yes.
the 96 Cup, one of the great hits you're ever going to see. They were both in midair. That was perfectly timed. See what Keane did? John, he's coming across. He waits till Ragnarsson touches the puck, and then he comes across. He gave himself time, if Ragnarsson doesn't touch the puck, to pull away and not hit him. Because you know the referees are looking for one of those. Perfectly timed hit by Mike Keane.
Mike Keane scored an overtime series winner for Dallas in this building back in the '98 playoffs to eliminate the San Jose Sharks.
And was instrumental in that Game 6 win that Dallas had that took them on to Game 7 at home against the Avalanche in Colorado.
And they ruled that that last shot was by a Shark player with the face off the center. Marchman drives it in. Put up the wall for Mike Keane. And he'll flip it off the glass. And icing is signaled and called against the Avalanche.
I didn't notice it, but I've just been told, John, that Forsberg went to the locker room for the Avalanche. And Pat Carnes is there. Matt Sokolowski is downstairs. Of course, they work together, so there's no...
Normally, when there's an injury, Pat Carnes will accompany the players to the locker room, so we can only hope that it's an injury or an equipment situation with Forsberg.
And it's not like in Colorado where he can come back to the bench through the locker room. San Jose can. It is one disadvantage for the Avalanche in this building.
Saka gets the face-off to Tanguay. In a 1-1 game, Tanguay scoops one to the corner. Hayduk, who has led all players with 5 shots on goal tonight. And the Sharks break to center. Sturm, rink wide feed for Domfus. Back for Sturm. That failed to click, but he tipped it, so there's no icing. And Adam Foote will play it for the Avalanche. Foote goes high to center, where it's grabbed by Hannon, right back in the Av zone. And again, both teams make changes. It's DeVries for the Avalanche.
And it is cautious right now. Both clubs are extremely deliberate in everything they're doing.
As Solani whips it back in, Waugh nearly lost it. As Graves was in there, but the Avalanche get the puck off the boards to center. And Hannon now for the veteran Graves. On the wing for Solani, trying to bust in around Foote, and Foote will have none of that. And the puck ends up back at the goal. Now Solani again, trying to find some holes in the defense. Back in the line, a shot blocked by Rico Hall. As Suter let it go, and Marchman has to go back in his own end. Good job by the rookie Rico Hall, who goes off for a line change. Now Thornton for the Sharks. Up on the right wing to Solani. And he gets it in, but it's offside at the Avalanche line. Let's check out what's on tap. Brought to you by Bud Light. If the Avs win Game 7 Wednesday, we're on the air at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Great little read, I'll tell you. Every once in a while, a player does something that goes absolutely unnoticed, but it's huge. Joe Sakic, there's a little confusion on the bench because Forsberg wasn't there, and Sakic read it, saw that they needed someone, jumped on the ice. So now everything settles down again. Great read by Sakic.
And Rico Hall blocked that shot, and he runs off, so maybe he lost an edge. Here's Blake ahead to Reinprecht. Into the zone, Sakic into Claire. On his knees, a shot, and Nabokov made the save. What an effort by Sakic. They're centering Drury and Reinprecht. Sharks throw one to the corner. Skula gets it around the boards. And back to center. Hannon will handle it for the Sharks to Rafji. And he'll pound it down the ice. Here's Thornton tipping one back of the Avs goal. Now for Sundstrom. Plays one to the corner. Mike Keane there against Ricci. And the puck loose to Thornton. And he'll drive one off the glass to the corner. Taken again by Sundstrom in front. And a shot by Thornton is blocked by the Avs. And Stepan Yale will clear one to center ice. Sundstrom at his own line to Rafji. Long shot. Waugh made the save, and it goes over the glass off of Waugh, so the face-off will remain in the Avs zone. Let's check in downstairs with Mitch Hyder.
All right, John and Peter, you mentioned that the ice is beginning to soften up. One of the problems is it's so warm here in San Jose. The humidity level's gone up. The ice softens up. So these guys right here, they're trying to pump in as much dry air from the outside zone as possible. Drier air, drier ice, a harder surface. I'm not sure it's working very well, but perhaps it's better than it was. So we'll keep an eye on that the rest of the night.
All right, Mitch, thanks for that. And Peter, from where we sit, the ice seems to be quite soft. But again, it's tough to say when you're 75 feet from the ice surface. And here comes Forsberg back. Has a new stick, and you can tell him that he's testing the skates, right, Peter.
It looked like he was testing the inside edge there quickly. But the things you watch for, John, when the puck is dumped down the ice for an icing and it doesn't get down the ice, when you know if the ice was good, it would. Just little things, the puck coming across, wobbling as it comes across. So the players have got to be aware of that when they're making passes. Nothing backwards, everything forward.
Sakic against Domfus in a 1-1 game. Domfus got it back, but no one is there. Now Rafji walks in. Gets it right in front of the goal crease, but no one was home in the Avalanche. Sprint the other way. Sakic to Tanguay. Makes a move at the line. Drop pass to DeVries. To the corner for Haydu. Can't center. Now DeVries in there battling. But the Sharks up the wall for Owen Nolan. He goes across the ice. Now Hannon jumps in the play. Here's Hannon, a backhander through the goal crease, and no one is on the other side. And Foote goes sprawling after the puck. Knocks the Shark player down. And the Avalanche come up with it with DeVries. And he'll flip it down the ice, and that will be an icing violation against the Avalanche. Visit the new PepsiCenter.com today for your chance to win great prizes and get the latest updates on events coming to Pepsi Center and the City Lights Pavilion. You can even sign up for e-previews and be automatically entered to win tickets to upcoming events.
John, we talked about the referees and the fact that it's been a very well-called game. And Adam Foote was barking at the referee. The referee put his hand up and just pointed at him, let him have his little say, and then said enough. And Foote, believe me, it wasn't for necessarily children what said, but you know, you get it out of your system without the referee, you know, overreacting. Well done by the referee.
And another huge face-off to the left of Waugh. Yell against Marleau. And Yell is tossed, so Mike Keane will step in to take it against Marleau.
And this is not a great draw side for a right-handed draw.
Keane against Marleau. And Marleau wins it cleanly back on the line. A marksman blocked by Messier. And that goes about 20 rows deep here at the Shark Tank. Good gutsy play by Messier.
The thing that makes this play so great for Messier, John, is he is supposed to be blocked out by his man. And he just gets by his guy. If he had been held up by the forward, John, in that situation, I mean, you're looking at a much more dangerous chance. Messier fought through the interference and got to the man at the point.
And he blocks shots as well as anyone in the NHL.
Which is not necessarily... He is a brave boy, I'll tell you.
Sharks win another face-off. Back to Stewart. A shot. Long a save. Ricci after the rebound. Can't get it. Ragnarsson kept it in. Now for Sundstrom back of the goal. Centering pass. Here's Thornton with it for San Jose. Left it on the wall. Now to the corner. Blake breaks it up from Ricci, but Thornton is in there. Sends it back of the goal again to Ricci. And again, Blake is all over him. Now Thornton to the corner. Drury trying to steal it. Forsberg comes over. He was knocked down. And then Kasparaitis eliminates Sundstrom. Thornton looking for an open man. To the corner again. They hang on to the puck so well, does this Ricci line. Now a shot by Ricci. And a save by Waugh. Kept in by Ragnarsson, and Reinprecht blocked it. Now a pass across, and Pasquette has read it and pokes one to center. That's how the Sharks scored their only goal tonight on that cross-ice pass. Here's Ricci again. Up the middle. To the corner for Sundstrom. Blake eliminates Ricci back of the goal. And now Sakic there. Hit by Sundstrom. On the line now to Hannon. He'll throw one deep. That Ricci line's been on the ice for a long time. Sturm to the corner again. Blake gets away from Ricci. Forsberg battles with Kasparaitis. And up the wall now to Forsberg. And the Avalanche get to center. Here's Steve Reinprecht, and he'll tip it in and go off on a line change. The box off, and Rafji trying to get it going here. Rafji up the far side. Kept in by Foot. Here's Milan Hajduk. Down low, Hajduk trying to cut, and he does. And a save by Nabokov with the left pad. And the Sharks fire it back to center. And Skula now across the Foot. Spins around, gets it on to Hajduk. For Skula. Into the zone, up the middle, lost it, turned over, 2-on-1 the other way. Domfus and Nolan. Wide of the goal by Domfus on a 2-on-1. Can you believe that? He missed everything. Now Domfus again, knocked away by Skula. 7 minutes gone, third period, 1-1 the score. Here's Domfus again. He'll scoop one to the far corner. Adam Foote gets back. Now Foot back of the goal for Skula. As the fans get into it here in the third period. Now Yell to center ice. Yell down the wall. Suter plays it for the Sharks. Pressured by Mike Keane. Now back of the goal, Messier and Marchman. One jab to the puck. Here comes Yell. And the Sharks get it free, and they flip it up the middle dangerously. And Marchman without the helmet. And Suter to center ice for Matone. Here come the Sharks into the zone. Pass in front, knocked away by Messier. Loose puck, Solani kick, and a shot on Drury the other way. With Rob Blake. Now to Blake in the zone. A drive and a save by Nabokov on a hard shot by Blake. And then Reinprecht battles near the Shark bench. He has scored the Avs goal. Ragnarsson has scored for San Jose, both in the second period. Now Forsberg at his own line for Brian Muir. Ahead to Sakic. And is sent Forsberg in, broken up by Ricci. Turned over, Reinprecht gets it. Into the zone, Sakic. Oh, what a save there on Sakic.
That may have been, John, 5 of the most tense minutes of hockey we've seen. I mean, those 5 minutes with just a couple of face-offs, you could just feel how everybody was right on top of their game.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Now get $1,000 to $3,000 cash back on new GMCs. See dealer for details. Upgrade to professional grade. See the pros at your participating Colorado GMC dealers.
It was a Colorado I'd never seen before.
The perfect fishing spot. I'm not going to tell you where.
We rode horses, real live ones.
This wonderful downtown hotel close to everything. Theater, restaurants, club.
The whole family in one tent.
2 would have been better.
The vacations that stay closest to your heart don't necessarily happen far away. This summer, rediscover the fun. Rediscover the possibilities. Rediscover Colorado.
9995 for the special edition Saturn SL?
That's right.
With AC? Yep. It's incredible. Is there anything else I should know?
You're like an inch away from my face, and it is really freaking me out.
How's that?
That is much, much better.
The Saturn Spring Sales Event, while supplies last.
Quick chance for San Jose, and how mad would the Avalanche have been had this one gone in? Watch Thornton just run into Waugh, and the puck is sitting right there. Oh, baby, thank goodness.
Still 1-1, 11:30 left in the third period. The Sharks, Stern dumps it in. Nolan barges in after it against Foot. What a wrestling match there. And the officials look the other way. Now it goes back to the goal for Stern. Flips one to Dumfries. Now for Nolan. Nolan trying to walk in front. That's blocked by Debris. Nolan gets it again. A shot. Hit his own man down post. Now Nolan off the wall. Looks for an opening. Dumfries in the slot. That shot blocked again. Here's Stern to Nolan. Flips it in front. Foot knocked it away. Great play in the Avalanche. To center. 3-on-2. Hejduk to Sakic. Tanguay is there. He can't get his stick on the puck. Now Hejduk again. In the slot to Blake. In the clear. And a save. I think Hannon kept it out. It was behind the Bokov. What a play. It's still 1-1. And everyone is still on the edge of their seats. It's dumped in. Hannon trying to clear it. Drury knocked it down. A shot. And a save by Nabokov. And a whistle.
And John, it's 10:22 to go. And again, you don't want to overstate a fact, but you're just watching the ice. You can see how the puck is wobbling around. It's one of those games. Look, John, was it going to go in? I can't. I think it was going to go wide. But boy, I'll tell you, everybody in this building.
Well, Tanguay was right there.
Tanguay was right. It was a great play by Blake. Great read. Again, you get into the conditioning factor for these athletes. What great shape they are in to be able, for a guy like Blake, to jump into the play like that. Just, you know, back instead of saving energy, sees a chance, bang. Quickly, Owen Nolan and Foot. Very good pals, but boy, I'll tell you, when they play hockey, you wouldn't know it.
Here's a shot by Blake. Rebound in front to Forsberg. And Nabokov made the save. Oh, Forsberg had an open shot. Nabokov challenged and made the save. Now Forsberg knocks it down at center. And he'll scoop one high into the Shark zone. Nabokov on the far side for Ragnarsson. Intended for Sundstrom. Batted away by Kasparaitis. Here's Drury. Blake up in the play again. Here's Blake. And lost it near the line, and that puts the play offside. As again, Blake was jumping up, looking for that opening.
They're sitting back, and Blake's coming on.
"90 years ago, Chevy hit the road and never looked back. Today, we continue to drive ahead with great deals on most Chevy vehicles. Check out deals on Impala and Malibu, or trucks like Avalanche and Silverado. Even SUVs like Tahoe and Suburban have great offers. Stop by your Chevy dealer and see why America loves the bow tie. See your Colorado Chevy dealer.
The double play. It takes determination, skill, and precision. This combination of talent and expertise has helped Oppenheimer Main Street Growth and Income Fund beat 92% of its competition over the past 10 years. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Hello, my friend. Which would you rather have, this oven-toasted sub?
I like toasted.
Or this untoasted sub with lots of lettuce? Uh-huh. Clearly prefers the untoasted sub with the lettuce.
The only way to beat a Quiznos oven-toasted sub is to cheat. Try our Santa Fe smoked turkey sub with bacon and Santa Fe sauce on Quiznos ciabatta bread.
Toasty.
Rob Blake, 5 goals in the playoffs, 5 goals in this series, including 3 in games 3 and 4 here in San Jose. Almost gives the Avalanche a lead.
Off the face-off, Skola hammers it in. And Gary Suter back to retrieve it around the wall for Solani. Never got to him. Now Marlowe off the board. Solani for Marchment, center ice to Graves. And he'll risk one to the corner. Watt stop it. And play one up the near side for Yale, who hacks it onto center ice. Now loose puck taken by Foot. Adam Foot for Mike Keane. Gets it into the Shark zone. Played around to the near side now for Solani. He'll be an unrestricted free agent as of June 1st. Solani's making himself some money in this series. Turned over and a hand pass. And a Shark player is injured. Solani is down, and no penalty was called in the play, and I'm not sure what happened to him.
Well, somebody got their arm around him, and he's trying to draw a penalty right there. Here's Messier. Will put his arm around him. But Solani, you got to do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. And Solani, John, I mean, he has certainly come alive in this series. After nothing against Phoenix in 5 games. 5 goals in this series.
It is 1-9 minutes left in the third.
John, you know what just happened here?
It was just a little earthquake in the field.
I thought the place was going crazy. We just had an earthquake. We just had an earthquake in this building.
There was a little shake of the press box here. And hopefully the last one.
John, good luck, big guy. I think I forgot my keys in the car in Colorado.
Here's Casper Rightis. Up on the far side to Reinprecht. Now Raffke in his own line. Center ice, Forsberg. Oh, earthquakes are really funny, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Well, growing up in California, I've been in a few, so that wasn't much of one, John. But I'll tell you, it was interesting. We were all looking around, wondering who was shaking the building.
There's Hayduk stealing the puck. In on goal! And the puck off the save! On the line, Hayduk, and the net is free behind the Shark goaltender. What a play by Hayduk.
I mean, Hayduk has been offensively the guy here in this building. The other announcers are looking around, John, asking if I was standing up, shaking the place. It wasn't me, guys. Hayduk, just a great effort in tonight's game. I mean, we knew it was loud. We knew it was going to be wild. Didn't know it was going to be quite this wild here.
Hayduk has played his best game of the playoffs.
Oh, by far. By far.
Now it's Drury, Tanguay, and Hayduk. So that would lead you to believe that Forsberg and Sakic might be on the next shift.
Rob Hartley is putting those 2 guys together. You're certainly not hurting yourself by putting Tanguay, Drury, and Hayduk on a line.
And Drury wins the faceoff back on the line to Foot. And his shot never got through. The puck in front, but turned away by the Sharks. Sundstrom to center ice to Ricci. Trying to walk around Adam Foot. Now Ricci. Down low for Thorpe. DeVries there for the Avalanche. Pressured from behind. Sundstrom stole it. Now DeVries comes back on him. There's Ricci to sweep one to the corner again to Thornton. Rubbed out by Foot. DeVries wipes out his man. That was Sundstrom. One-on-one battles down low. Sharks get it free. Here is Thornton. Chase to the wall. Stewart kept it in. Now Hayduk in the corner. Gets some help from Drury. He goes around to the far side. And the puck off the boards to center ice. Tanguay goes off on a line change. Here's Stewart. Getting it right back in the Av zone. Now the Sharks make a change. And Foot will handle it behind his own goal. The pressure mounts. 7:10 to go in the third. Rob Blake up the wall. Mike Keane let it go to Messier. Now for Yell. Charges in there. Knocked down. Messier comes in. Yell gets up. He gets the puck. A shot. Never got through the maze of players in front. Out of the near side, Mike Keane is after it. Here's Keane for Yell. Marchman battles against Messier. Keane trying to find the loose puck. He does. Takes a heavy hit. And Marchman up the boards. Now to Harvey. On to Bradley into the zone. Muir got back. And runs Bradley into the corner. And Bradley on the puck. It's straight to Harvey. His backhand feed to Mateau. Mateau trying to walk in front. Yell wraps him up. Muir shoots it around the wall. Kept in. Long shot by Stewart, that's off a leg in the corner. And again, back of the goal, Mateau and Yell battle for it. Here's Mateau trying to come in front. Yell sits on the puck. It's still loose. And we get a whistle.
Just battles, John. Just pure battles. Yell was down with Mateau deep in the zone. Now, he did not lead Mateau. Even though the puck rolled around the boards, he stayed with Mateau because, John, what San Jose does, when you escape from your man or leave your man, they throw it back down and you got to go get him again. So the Avalanche do a good job of just staying on their man until the puck comes around. Brian Muir getting a couple of shifts. Muir only played a minute last game. He's played coming in. Let's have a quick check for Muir. He played 3.5 minutes through the first 2 periods. That's a little more than I thought, John. Initial reports, there was a 5.0 little earthquake we just rumbled through.
Interesting.
Welcome to California.
Sakic on the faceoff. Downfuss wins it. Back of the line to Nolan. Oh, that shot tipped by somebody and just wide of the goal. And Forsberg gets it on to Sakic. Center ice with Steve Reinfrecht. Avs can't get it deep, and Hannon will play it. Off the boards to center for Sturm. And again, rink wide now for Downfuss. To the Avalanche line. Rob Blake goes back. Now Blake gets it again from Forsberg, and he'll take cover back at his own goal. Here's Blake to center, Reinfrecht. Now on to Sakic. 3 Sharks are back. Sakic into the zone. The Kasparaitis, a shot. Didn't get a lot on that one. Forsberg back in the goal. Can't wheel in front. And the Sharks don't waste any time. And an icing call coming up here on the home team. This is playoff hockey at its very best. And that is why hockey is the best sport going. 1-1 here in Game 6.
Two grilled stuffed burritos.
Bring it on.
It's big, it's beefy. It's the grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. Seasoned beef, 3 melted cheeses, sealed inside a grilled tortilla. The affordable heavy-duty portable is just $1.99. For the heaviest meal on wheels, you gotta think outside the bun.
90 years ago, Chevy hit the road and never looked back. Today, we continue to drive ahead with great deals on most Chevy vehicles. Check out deals on Impala and Malibu, or trucks like Avalanche and Silverado. Even SUVs like Tahoe and Suburban have great offers. Stop by your Chevy dealer and see why America loves the bow tie. See your Colorado Chevy dealer.
Tuesday on an all-new Buffy the Vampire Slayer. When vengeance calls, will death have the last word?
It is done.
I will not let Willow destroy herself. What did you do?
Then, on the Roswell series finale,
We're all gonna be killed.
there will be no tomorrow.
We're in position. Thank you for letting me live among you.
This is it, the final episode in all-new Roswell.
Tuesday, starting at 7 on UPN 20.
Rico Hall and Forsberg have both gone to the dressing room earlier. Obviously, Forsberg back. Rico Hall has returned. Hasn't been used since returning. But the Avalanche have all of the players. They've used the same lineup 5 out of the 6 games. The last 5 games, Rob Blake missed game 1, but has obviously played the last 5.
Off the face-off, Ragnarsson. He goes ahead to Ricci. Here the Avs line blocked by Foot, and Burry chops it back in the zone. Ragnarsson trying to clear it. And it gets by Foot on the right point. And he gets back against Thornton with his great speed, and he knocks it over the boards. And a whistle. Let's check tonight's game summary brought to you by Taco Bell.
Well, first it was Ragnarsson, and then for the Avalanche, just a few seconds later, Reinfrecht tied it up. That's where we sit. Not many shots on goal, not many scoring chances, and just hard work.
The Avalanche entering tonight's game have scored 3 or more goals in 6 consecutive games. That's a season high going back to the regular season.
4 was the most that they scored in 3 games 3 goals or more in a row.
There's Blake for Kasparaitis. Up the middle for Yell. Yell darts around Suter. Back to the net. Yell trying to get a shot. Messier in front. Here comes Kasparaitis in. A shot right on goal. And a save by Nabokov on Kasparaitis, who scored an overtime winner last year with Pittsburgh.
An overtime series winner against Buffalo. And John, what's interesting for Kasparaitis, what he is starting to recognize is that there is a lot of attention paid to Rob Blake. Now, when there's a lot of attention paid to one guy, usually that means someone could be open. And you see Kasparaitis down very low because the man usually is covering him was cheating a little bit because someone had fallen down behind the play. Someone was going to have to cover Blake. Kasparaitis read it, got the good chance.
And once again, it is Sakic, Forsberg, and Reinprecht in a 1-1 game inside of 5 minutes left in regulation time. Domfus on the faceoff. Lost it. Here's Forsberg back of the goal. Rafty runs him into the board. Forsberg kicks one to Reinprecht. And the puck up on the far side for Sturm, and he'll scoop one to center. Here's Domfus again off the boards to Nolan. He'll get it into the Avalanche zone. Where Blake goes back. A shot from the game now 24-19 for the Avalanche. They've been 8 in this third period. Forsberg to center. Sakic down the wall. Trying to get around Sturm, who dives. And Rafty fans on it. Now Forsberg comes in, but he can't make a play, and Harvey will clear one to center. And then I believe a high stick by an Avalanche player, so the whistle and the faceoff will be at center.
Oh, you're doing everything now. Sturm, who is a very quick skater, he knew that he was being outraced by Sakic, so he just dove. He's taking a little bit of chance. If he doesn't get the puck, Sakic's gone. He's cutting towards the middle, and anything can happen. Sakic, pardon me, still has his legs. Marco Sturm right there scored the first goal of the game, last game.
Here's Stewart off the face-off. He throws it across from a toe. The Sharks have their 4th line on the ice. And DeVries gets it off the boards to center.
I'm just going to say, John, every single shift, the last 3 shifts, someone has fallen down behind the play.
There's a bouncing puck to the Shark line. Now Stewart for Teemu Selanne onto Harvey. And he'll wipe a one behind the Avalanche goal. No one is there to get it. Now Selanne comes in. Looking to make a play. A shot, and Waugh went down to make the save. Here's the toe to Harvey. In front. Oh, what a play by DeVries to break it up. And Drury to center ice for DeVries. He goes wide. A shot. Big rebound in front, and Ragnarsson was there for the Sharks to clear it. Yell a hit at center. Messier into the zone to Mike Keane in front. A shot. And a glove save by Nabokov with 3:04 to go in the third.
Right now, it becomes that point in the game where any shot towards the net is what you do, because you want to stay on the same game plan. I don't always agree, John, with that idea that, you know, any shot is a good shot. I mean, sometimes you're just wasting it. But when it gets down to this situation, if the ice isn't not good, you know everyone is tired. There's a chance that anything can happen as far as you might fall, something can happen. You put the puck towards the net.
Again, Sakic on the faceoff against Ricci. Ricci wins it cleanly back of the goal to Hannon. Around on the far side of Thornton. He'll get one to center off the skate of Kasparaitis. Wall will play it. And back to center. Forsberg off a skate to Sakic. What a play. Sakic up the middle. The Reinprecht in front. And it was blocked at the defense. What a play by Forsberg, and then Sakic. And the Sharks cleared away. Loose puck taken by Forsberg. Right back in the zone. 3-on-3. Forsberg to Sakic. Off his leg. And Sundstrom back to center ice. Hannon trying to get it in. He does too. Thornton rides it around the boards. To the corner now to Ricci. Wraparound try by Thornton, and he never got it on goal. Yell got back to break it up. And it's cleared to center ice by Reinprecht. Marchman handles it there. Both clubs making changes. It's Kasparaitis with 2:10 to go.
Both clubs making very tired changes. These guys are getting exhausted.
Here's a turnover, and Domfus fanned on it. And the Avalanche clear it off off the wall to center ice. Marchment now for Suter. Back in the Avalanche zone, Kasparaitis. Far side, Nolan cuts it off for Domfus. Trying to walk in front. Sturm, a one-handed shot, and Waugh made the save. And Keane pokes it ahead, not out. Now off the bad partition in the glass, and the Avalanche get to center. Here's Foote. His pass blocked. And Nolan at his own line. He's been on the ice for a long time. Here he comes. Nolan trying to pick his way in. He does. To Marleau, a shot. And that was wide, and Stewart can't hold it in. Tanguay is after it. Now picked up by Rico Hall. 2-on-1. Hall walks in. Oh, what a save there on Rico Hall with 1:15 to go.
The kid makes a great read, and he is coming in. He just, a little shift, moves it to the inside, walked in, and he's thinking shot the whole way. Oh, the unlikeliest of heroes almost came about for the Avalanche. Nabokov, who has matched Waugh, just save for save. That's been it. And it was labeled. See, it looked like, John, it was tipped, maybe?
I think the defenseman tipped this.
Which makes it even a bigger save, yeah. I mean, you really have to be on your game to catch a shot that's deflected. Whoop.
That was a game saver. Sakic on the faceoff to the corner. Forsberg can't get it. Hannon rifles it around the boards to Graves. Up the middle for Solani. Stops. Lets it go. What a save by Waugh. Solani knocked down, and Sakic gets the puck in the corner. Feeds one to center ice to Forsberg. Forsberg, great play to Reinprecht. He goes wide. Reinprecht steered to the corner by Rafchi. And Mike Ricci stops behind his own goal inside of a minute. Here in the third period, Ricci out of his own zone to Hannon. He'll throw one down the ice. Blake comes across. Now for Tanguay, ahead to Hayduk. Hits the line, Hayduk going wide. Now to the corner. Milan Hayduk. Cycles one to Drury. His backhander tipped toward the goal by Tanguay, and the Nabokov will hang on with 20.4 to go in a nail-biting finish here in San Jose.
And Bob Hartley, he just said something to Trottier. I'm wondering, did he say timeout to give his guys, those guys, because you're not going to get a better chance.
And you're probably not going to call timeout in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, he's going with his guns, you know that. It's 20 seconds away, John, from our first overtime of this series, and only the second for the Avalanche in the playoffs so far.
It is Sakic, Forsberg, and Heinold up front. Split and DeVries on defense. 20 seconds left. Domfus will take it against Sakic.
You know where Heinold's going, right to the front of the net. The referee's already warned him. Don't tangle up with the goalie.
And they battle for it. It goes to the corner. Ratchy trying to clear it. DeVries kept it in. Down to the corner. Heinold battles against Ragnarsson. Leaves it for Forsberg. Tied up by Ratchy to the far corner. Here's DeVries. 5 seconds to go. And a shot on goal. Rebound DeVries trying to stuff it in. And we are going to overtime here in Game 6.
John, it's been wild. We've had an earthquake, but no goals in this third period. Man.
What a finish.
That is a bunch of tired guys. A well-deserved 17-minute break.
Shots in the third period, 13-5 for the Avalanche. 1-1 after regulation time. Now to the studio and Tim Ring.
All right, guys. Yeah, high-stakes poker in San Jose. Unbelievable as we head to overtime. 60 minutes, not enough to decide this. As John mentioned, the Avalanche outshoot the Sharks 13-5, but Yevgeny Nabokov has the answer, and Patrick Waugh not too bad himself. We're taking a timeout. When we come back on the Avs Intermission Report, we will head back out to the Shark Tank. Also break it down with Frank Serratori. You're watching Avalanche Hockey on UPN 20.
happens in the blink of an eye. That defining moment in every game. When that moment comes, will you have ice in your veins?
It's here. It's clear. New Gatorade Ice.
Where the cheese go? Where the cheese at?
Where's the cheese at?
Where the cheese go?
Where's the cheese at?
Where the cheese go? Inside. Where the cheese go? Inside. Where the cheese be? Inside.
There's only one explanation for this. Introducing the Monopoly game, the newest $2 scratch game from the Colorado Lottery. Hey, who doesn't love Monopoly?
What kind of dog is that?
When it comes to taking care of the big or the little things in life, at Conoco, you're good to go.
90 years ago, Chevy hit the road and never looked back. Today, we continue to drive ahead with great deals on most Chevy vehicles. Check out deals on Impala and Malibu, or trucks like Avalanche and Silverado. Even SUVs like Tahoe and Suburban have great offers. Stop by your Chevy dealer and see why America loves the bow tie. See your Colorado Chevy dealer.
This intermission report is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
1-1 after 3. Let's get you back out live now to the Shark Tank. Mitch Hyder is with Pascal Trepanier. Mitch, take it away.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Pascal, what's more nerve-wracking, to be on the bench or to be not dressed watching this like the rest of us?
Telling you, so right now we're all behind there, and it's pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, it's if they score, our season's over. But I mean, I like our chances. I mean, the guys they've been working really hard, and like I said, we're just one shot away from Game 7.
Has the game gone according to the way Bob Hartley laid it out before the game, you think?
Well, I mean, we knew they were going to come out pretty hard, and I think we weathered the storm. But I mean, they're a pretty hard team to play against. I mean, they're really strong down low, and I mean, we've been doing a pretty good job, and we just gotta keep going.
Pascal, we appreciate the time. Best of luck and cross your fingers.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Pascal Trepanier. Guys, back to you in the studio.
All right, Mitch Hyder, thank you so much. We'll see you in a little bit. Coming up after a timeout on the Bud Light Intermission Report, we'll break down the 3 periods with Frank Serratori. Look ahead to overtime. Steve Reinfrecht ties this game at 15:41 of the second, and that is where we stand, tied at 1, heading to OT.
Dehydration. It can't be predicted. It can be prevented. Nothing has been tested and proven to hydrate athletes better or faster. Gatorade. Is it in you?
Two grilled stuffed burritos.
Bring it on.
It's big, it's beefy. It's the grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. Seasoned beef, 3 melted cheeses, sealed inside a grilled tortilla. The affordable heavy-duty portable is just $1.99. For the heaviest meal on wheels, you gotta think outside the bun.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Now get $1,000 to $3,000 cash back on new GMCs. See dealer for details. Upgrade to professional grade. See the pros at your participating Colorado GMC dealers.
Colorado, the place you call home. And First Bank's proud to be here, offering free checking for a year with a First Teller Visa check card that's free for the first year too, and access to a large network of free ATMs. First Bank's your neighborhood bank, right down the street in over 100 Colorado locations.
First Bank, check them out.
You think that's due? Think again. That's what's called a cold sweat. Because our guy has the steel multi-cut. One tool, multiple attachments. Tremble with fear, little yard. Tremble with fear. The steel multi-cut. Are you ready for a steel?
5.2 on the Richter scale. That's what the earthquake in the third period measured that out there in San Jose. I tell you, if the Sharks finally beat Patrick Roy in overtime, get ready for about a 6.8. Frank Serratore joins us again, and, you know, Pascal Trepanier mentioned he likes his chances. The Avalanche have had chances. Nabokov has answered every one.
He's a cool cucumber. For a young goaltender, you know, I'm amazed at the poise that he's playing with.
He is, and Roy as well. It's amazing. The first 10 minutes of that final period played in the Avs zone, second 10 in the Sharks zone, but neither club really can get to the goaltenders right now, and you got to think who's going to flinch first. You like the veteran, but wow, Nabokov has been solid.
Oh, the Avs are playing it tight to the vest. Nobody wants to make the big boo-boo. They're waiting for their chances. They know they have some opportunists, and they're just hoping that they get the last shot, but they're very careful. I mean, they've been very strong protecting the front of the net. They boxed out. They played more physical. It's almost like they've played this game not to win as much as not playing as much to win as much as they're playing not to lose. But it's just a deal where they're playing tight to the vest. You know, they want to keep it close. They like where they're at right now, and you know, they want to get the last shot of the game.
Real quick, if you're Bob Hartley, do you keep Sakic and Forsberg together on the same line?
I think anytime you get a TV timeout, if they have those in overtime, I know you're going to see those guys out there together. But this period, you get down to a situation like this, you're tired, you're fatigued, the ice is bad. Hey, get the pucks deep, short shifts, and you know what? No shot's a bad shot.
All right, UPN 20 Star Trek Voyager after the game. Post-game reaction on Fox Sports Net. You're watching Avalanche Hockey on UPN 20. John and Peter back with overtime coming up after the timeout.
Hello, my friend. Which would you rather have, this oven-toasted sub?
I like toasted.
Or this untoasted sub with lots of lettuce? Uh-huh. Clearly prefers the untoasted sub with the lettuce.
The only way to beat a Quiznos oven-toasted sub is to cheat. Try our Santa Fe smoked turkey sub with bacon and Santa Fe sauce on Quiznos ciabatta bread.
Toasty.
Skill is a part of it. So is experience and strength. But when you get down to it, what really sets one competitor apart from another is talent. You either have it or you don't. In Barron's annual survey of fund managers, Oppenheimer Funds had more portfolio managers in the top 50 than any other company for the second year in a row. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
It happens in the blink of an eye. That defining moment in every game. When that moment comes, will you have ice in your veins?
It's here. It's clear. New Gatorade Ice.
Congratulations, Jim! Now you get to choose between the sleek German-engineered Volkswagen Jetta or a dream vacation to Paraíso Lluvioso.
Jim, the Volkswagen. Volkswagen. The Volkswagen.
I'll take fun in the sunshine.
No.
For Jim.
Idiota.
You're going to the island. Yeah! Fun in the sun!
Don't miss out on your Jetta. And with leases like this, you won't have to.
Hi, this is Faith Hill's husband.
Tim McGraw for KYGO.
Have you heard KYGO lately?
Colorado 12-in-a-row music hours while you work. Songs with words you can understand.
Denver spells country KYGO.
Turn it on now. In country 98.5 KYGO.
Absolutely.
John Kelly, the Avs had chances. Nabokov had answers.
You are right, Tim. The Avalanche had 13 shots on goal, and Nabokov did not crack. Good period by the young goaltender.
It was a great period by Nabokov and a solid period for the Avalanche offensively because they did not sit back. Remember, we told you the Avalanche only had 4 shots on goal last period against San Jose in the third period, but Waugh made some big saves too. I mean, Patrick has come up with certainly his best game of the series, as Nabokov has. I mean, Sakic, who is now with Forsberg and Reinprecht. Drury has moved in with Hayduk and Tanguay. So there's been a little shift there. But both these clubs, I mean, they have not sat back. They have not waited. There's been no tentative hockey. Every time the Avalanche break up the ice, Rob Blake is jumping into the play. It has just been a terrific game and certainly a great third period.
And in the middle of that period, we had a 5.2 earthquake. The epicenter was about 45 miles away. So this game has had everything. Who will be the hero tonight? 1-1 going to overtime.
Where the cheese goes, where the cheese at?
Where's the cheese at?
Where the cheese goes,
Where's the cheese at?
where the cheese goes, inside, where the cheese goes, inside, where the cheese be, inside.
We know what it takes to realize successful figures. Precision, strength, talent, and a solid program. Key, achieve anything. We know you need a lot to edge past your competition. Power, intelligence, endurance, and a team with a common goal. Key, achieve anything.
Think it? Do it. With Dodge Durango SXT. V8 power at a price no other SUV can touch. Kickin' CD sound system, big wheels and tires, and roof rack. All for about $24,000. Better get it in gear. Grab Dodge's 7/100 powertrain pledge plus cash allowance or low financing. Ford, GM, Toyota, and Honda don't match this.
It was a Colorado I'd never seen before.
The perfect fishing spot. I'm not going to tell you where.
We rode horses, real live ones.
This wonderful downtown hotel close to everything. Theater, restaurants, club.
The whole family in one tent.
2 would have been better. The vacations that stay closest to your heart don't necessarily happen far away. This summer, rediscover the fun, rediscover the possibilities, rediscover Colorado.
Pardon the intrusion, but I have just one question. What's up with the processed burger combos? Let's get them some KFC. Now we're talking, right, Spike? Hand-breaded hot and fresh KFC original recipe chicken. Your favorite home-style side, a hot, flaky biscuit, and a medium Pepsi.
This is a poor excuse for a meal. This is a real meal and a real deal. KFC 2-piece original recipe meal deal. Get it now for only $2.99, or get 10 pieces for $8.99.
Ah, even Spike knows a real deal when he sees it. There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
The Avalanche are living on the edge. 1-1 going to overtime. They need the next goal or their season is over.
But back in '99, Milan Hayduk as a rookie, young number 23 in his first playoff series, had 2 overtime game-winning goals, the second of which in Game 6 ended that series, and the Avalanche moved on. Mike Keane also scored a series-ending overtime game winner at the Shark Tank.
The Sharks have won 1 playoff series in overtime with an overtime winner. That was by Ray Whitney in double overtime against Calgary in the Western quarterfinals back in 1995. And away we go with overtime. DeVries back for the Avalanche. On defense with foot. Forsberg at center to Sakic. In with Hayduk to Hayduk. Just too far. Now Hayduk down low. Run to the corner by Scott Hannon. And run down by Hannon. There's the puck. Hayduk trying to get it free. Now Forsberg with it. He had an overtime winner last year in Vancouver. That was in Game 3 in the first round. And bodies fly everywhere. Here comes Domfus to center. Look out here. 3-on-2. Domfus into the zone. In front to Hannon, who was in there and couldn't tip it in. And the Avalanche try to clear it. DeVries gets it out. Nolan fires it back in. Avalanche trying to make a change. Adam foot across and a delayed offside at the Avalanche line.
The Avalanche last year on the run to the Stanley Cup through the course of 4 series. The Avalanche, in the first series, it was Peter Forsberg, 4-on-4 in Game 3. Gives the Avalanche a win in Game 3. Stephon Yell, a big one. It sent it back to the Avalanche in Game 4. And then Sakic wins Game 5 in overtime on the power play. The Avalanche moved on to the Stanley Cup Finals, where we beat the Jersey in 7. No overtimes in that series.
This year the Avalanche 0-1 in overtime, losing Game 5 at home to LA. Here is Kasparaitis ahead to Tanguay. Center ice to Reinprecht. Left it for Blake. Blake didn't get a lot on that shot as he was bothered from behind. And Sundstrom for the Sharks. Center ice to Ricci, now on to Stewart. And I believe a hand pass from one Shark to another.
Well, Mike Ricci, John, did just a real smart little play. Blake had him beat to the outside. Blake wound up for the big shot, and Ricci just sort of pushed his arm a little bit so the follow-through wasn't right on the puck. Ricci, who played almost 20 minutes over the course of the first 3 periods of this game.
This is the Sharks' first overtime game in these playoffs. In their history, they are 3-5.
But they have lost the last 4 overtimes.
Here is DeVries. To the Shark line, Yell can't get it in. Now Suter back for Marchment. And he'll go all the way back behind his own goal. Now Marchment right up the middle for Solani. He dumps it in. Want to play it. No one is there to give him some support. Now Yell comes back. But the Sharks get the puck. Marlowe sends it deeper. Here's Solani back of the goal. Can't get a shot. Great play by DeVries to poke it away, and then Solani knocked down. No call. Here's DeVries into the zone. Puts one in front. Blocked by Marchment. Now behind the goal, Messier trying to cut it off. Marchment comes over there. And up on the boards for Graves. He lost it. And the Avalanche recover. The Avalanche going with 3 lines again here in overtime. Here's Milan Hayduk. Center ice to Forsberg. Into the zone. Can't get a shot. Now Sakic with it. Lost it in the corner. Sturm, a great job to knock it away. And up on the boards for Owen Nolan. His pass to Suter. Both defenses jumping up a lot. Oh, that nearly bounced by Wall from center. Here's Hayduk back to center ice. Hayduk spins now to Sakic. In the clear. And there will be a Game 7 as the Avalanche hit the Sharks with their own earthquake in the name of Peter Forsberg. And the Avalanche win 2-1.
Oh, man, what a great play. What a great hockey game. And it just, the beat goes on in this series, John. No club has won 2 games in a row. The home club cannot put the other team away at home. The road club now is 2-4. And who comes through, John? The boys. Sakic and Forsberg combined. Nice little play at the blue line. But the Avalanche take it home for Game 7. There was an earthquake here tonight. There'll be an avalanche of fans in Colorado. What a play by Sakic. Great read by Forsberg. But Hayduk, John, deserves an assist in this game.
What a game he played.
He was the best player.
Sakic up front with Tanguay and Hayduk. It is Ricci, Sundstrom, and Thornton for the Sharks. As the puck ends up behind the Avalanche goal.